scale.
Look at it.
Oh, wait, what is that? I thought it was a drone. I got excited. What is that
It's
thing?
better than a drone.
It's better. It's better than a drone.
Well, I
We
guess
had a tornado watch here yesterday, dude.
Well, if you would have had this,
What? I wouldn't have gotten the Google thing on my phone that told me about it.
shut up. This is more important. Look, let me explain to you why this is so much more important. So now, rather than using the Google alerts like you have, or weather.com, or Dark Sky, or the built-in weather apps, or just going outside, I now have my own hyper localized weather station, Paul. Look at.
But Brad, you could say, Siri, is it raining?
Or I could just walk outside. Or I could look at this little screen here, Paul, that is attached wirelessly through the magics of wireless to wind.
Here's what I'm hearing. Sometime today, probably, but certainly this weekend, you're going to be climbing on your roof to mount this thing at the highest peak. I can't wait to see the story that Ohio resident in hilarious roof fall becomes viral on YouTube.
It's like, did you know you could get impaled by a weather vane? Well, we're about to find out. I don't know if I'll put it on my roof yet, but I could attach it to my... I don't know where I'm going to put it yet. But,
well, that looks nice.
Yeah.
I kind of want a drone. No, but I mean, like
a
just
weaponized one?
But I also understand that it will be unwelcome everywhere and would be a horrible thing to have to travel with go to the place where I'd want to use such a thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you could torment the animals with it.
Chase them around the house. Look, dude, I still can't fly a plane under the Eiffel Tower in Flight Simulator. How am I going to fly a drone around my house? You know? I can barely back out of my driveway. What are we talking about here?
Paul, wait. So I'm going to be in the news for falling off my roof attaching this. Paul's going to be in jail for flying a drone into his dog's side.
Man eviscerates dog with drone.
It's like, I was so close to getting him under his belly.
Well,
so
the good
close.
news department, I got a nice video of it.
Yeah. If you listen carefully, you can hear my wife yelling at me. Anyways, Amazon reported for the X number quarter, I think it's 3 or 4 in a row, of over $100 billion in revenue, which is a number that's not fathomable.
It doesn't even make sense.
No.
You know, this is the ultimate example of the rich getting richer. And by the way, at least they're not clogging our highways with trucks and pointlessly delivering us stuff we don't need immediately, you know?
Are you saying my weather thing is pointless, Paul?
What I am saying is that on Wednesday, I asked Leo what microphone I should get for portable podcasting, and he recommended one, and I bought it on Amazon, and I said, if we're lucky, I'll get this before the end of the show. I don't know.
The interesting thing about Amazon is in a lot of markets, you pay for speed and convenience, right? Like, so it's if you have two options in front of you, you can pay less money for option A, but it takes longer to get to you, or you can pay more money for option B, but it gets there faster. The Amazon model that they figured out is like you can pay less and get it faster than option A. The problem is that they just have no margins doing it, which is why they only made $7.8 billion in net income on that 113.
Oh, their margins are terrible.
And it's probably all AWS, most of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's, there was so little data in the primary Amazon post about their financials. They had a novel about all the work they're doing around the world to make it a better place, in their words. But yeah, I was, as I was reading this, the thing that I kept thinking to myself was antitrust regulators need to separate AWS from this company. Like, these are two different businesses. They don't make sense together. Mm-hmm. But then I thought, if they do that, Amazon won't be profitable. But maybe that's what needs to happen, because that business needs to float on its own to make sense, I think. And by the way, their stock price plummeted yesterday because I think they made 113.1 billion, and the analysts were in revenues. Analysts were expecting 115 billion.
Yeah, crazy.
What is that? What is that? Less than 1%?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's got to be, right? I'm not good at math, but 115 versus 113. What? I mean, that's in the ballpark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Plus or minus 1% is flat. I don't.
At that scale, yeah. On paper, it's like they missed by $2 billion, but then you look at the amount, and it's like, wait a minute,
I know. It doesn't.
It's like
even make
3
sense.
Tuesdays. Like,
yeah, right. Like right.
actually, how many days are in a quarter? How
Well,
many?
90 something. I mean, right. I mean, June 30. April,
So
May. I think it's what 30 was. So 91.
92.
I
It
think.
says 92.
Yeah.
92 days. So Amazon,
So,
it's less than 3 Tuesdays. It's like 1.5 Tuesdays of revenue,
1.2 something Tuesdays. Yeah.
which is
It's just-
you're making more
it's
than
just-
$1 billion a day in transactions.
It's incredible.
That's.
It's incredible.
Anyways, I think I need some new batteries for this thing. Which, by the way, Paul, since we're still on this topic, it's called an Osprey, which means, in my mind, that it's designed for those giant military aircraft, which means it's military grade, and it's great.
See, in my mind, that makes it sound like a drone because an
Yeah.
Osprey is something that flies.
It is. It is. Maybe if
And
these little
attacks.
weather things spin fast enough over here,
You know.
they'll. I'm a huge weather nerd. I mean, look at this thing. Wind speed, UV sensor, solar radiation sensor, wind direction, bubble level, rain gauge, solar power, outdoor temperature and humidity, indoor temperature and humidity, minimum and maximum. I'm guessing that's calendar. You don't see that every day.
I have one question.
And
Can
you can
control
do.
this thing with Cortana?
Let's not get crazy. Moon phase. Look at that. Barometric pressure, and of course, communist and freedom units.
You know, none of that is necessary.
Oh no, not at
Because
all.
it's all available elsewhere. But I have no problem with this purchase. I think it's fun to. I like that you're into science. I just corrected someone in the past 24 hours who said something like, hotter than the surface of Mars, and I said, you realize Mars is further from the Earth and thus is colder.
And it has no atmosphere. Well,
They're
like 1% of
confused
Earth's
by this
atmosphere.
because it looks like a desert.
Paul, you had a headline, and I want to add one word to it. You wrote Microsoft adds "my day pain" to Outlook.com. I would like to add the word "of" to that, so it can be Microsoft adds "my day of pain"
My day of pain.
to Outlook.com.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people have been telling me this has been there for a while, but I think it's possible that the to-do part of it is new, and I don't use Outlook on the web. So to me, the most interesting thing about the Microsoft post describing this feature was that we all know that there are two separate products called Outlook.com and Outlook on the web, the latter being the Microsoft 365 commercial version of that product, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been moving them closer together for sure. I know they share the same infrastructure now, which they didn't always. They share the same basic, not the same UI overall. Obviously, you have different features depending on what kind of account you have, but they just refer to these things collectively now and without any explanation whatsoever. I had to go look to see if it was available in both, and it is, as Outlook Web. Yeah.
That's a name.
How do you feel about that?
But not as strongly as I feel about my ambient weather Osprey over here. That's for sure. Other things too. If you want to install Windows 11 and you're in the beta channel, you can now live your life in the dev channel because it's the same build. But I mean, it's
Yeah, we're not getting a new build this week, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw
That was it.
but in the dev channel, that is. There is one advantage to this that kind of came out after the fact, which is that you can switch if you want now from the dev channel to the beta channel. It won't change anything other than the frequency at which you get updates. I wouldn't do it now if you're super interested in testing new stuff in Windows 11, because obviously we're waiting on, Android App Store stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But as this thing kind of winds down, it actually might not be a bad idea to switch that over, because one of the dev channel is a little iffier with how you move forward from there. And the ability to go down, now that the dev channel and the beta channel are kind of testing the same thing, it's nice because you have that cross-channel movement capability. So it's something to keep your mind on. As we get closer to Windows 11, you might want to switch out of dev when it makes sense to do so, and then set it up so you just get on the normal Windows 11 when that happens.
So this is way outside of our purview, but I'm bringing it up because it's crazy. So I think it was earlier this week, maybe last week, I can't remember. The Russians have this space station module, and they launched it up. And this there is a history behind this thing. I think it was supposed to originally launch on, I think no joke, like 2006 or something crazy like
Was
this.
it that long ago? I was gonna say 2 years ago or something.
No, no,
okay.
no.
Yeah, a long time. Okay.
It was delayed so long that the warranty on the parts has now expired for most of the vehicle. And so they fly this thing up there, they attach it to the space station, and the thrusters on this thing, when it's attached to the space station, kicked on and started translating.
It spun it out of its.
Started translating the space station, which is crazy. And so they're doing like all these emergency maneuvers. And
the nerdency.
I don't know if the answers come out yet, but I think they just ran out of fuel because they were counteracting it with other thrusters, and the Russian thrusters ran out of fuel because they had to do additional burns.
Overcompensate,
to get to the space station. Like crazy.
You know, this is a dumb. You're talking about science, which is smart, and I'm going to talk about something that's dumb. But you just reminded me of this. Everyone knows that a bunch of movies were delayed because of the pandemic, right? So the most famous is the latest James Bond movie, which was just going to debut. They were already doing PR for it. Daniel Craig was going on late night talk shows, and it's a big movie, right? This thing costs hundreds of millions of dollars to make, I'm sure, and has to make $1 billion to make sense or whatever. And they didn't want to do a home release, and they looked at different things throughout the pandemic. And anyway, it's coming out in October, so here comes the movie. And I'm a James Bond fan, so I'm looking forward to this. And I think Daniel Craig is fantastic. But what's weird about this is these movies have like technology in it, and they always have a car, which sometimes is an old car, but usually is like a new car. And then they often have new smartphones in them, like you've seen Nokia, I think, in the past, or Samsung Ericsson's phones, Sony Ericsson phones, whatever. The car that's in the movie, which is some kind of a brand new Aston Martin, or was in 2019, is now out of date, and they actually have already replaced it with something. So I guess like it was supposed to be like a showcase, because they do that.
Yeah.
Like they'll showcase like a BMW sometimes during the Pierce Brosnan years or whatever. And I don't know if he has like a phone, but you could almost imagine like he'll have like a Windows phone or something, and he'll be driving some like 1987 Chevy Impala. It's just like so out of date, Yeah. Oh, well. Just like the Russians. That was my tie-in. I don't know.